Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. I am the CHALL, your Doncaster Rovers fan and sporting reporter. Today is an interview for the Rovers and Rivals series ahead of the FA Cup match with Kings Lynn Town, our first competitive match against the club. And I'm here with Greg, who is a journalist from Lynn News. Greg, how are you?
I'm very well, Aaron. How are you?
I'm not too bad, thank you. So let's try and understand it from a Kings Lynn perspective, shall we? Obviously, we've talked before this recording. It seems like we're going to be playing similar formations against each other. How, in terms of Kings Lynn's season, would you say it's been going so far in terms of trying to climb back into the Vanarama National League?
I don't think, funny enough, I spoke to one of the players today and he was saying to me, you know, if you'd have said that we'd be top of the league and in the first round of the FA Cup, the first week of November, they'd have, you know, to bit your arm off kind of thing. So I don't think it could have gone any better than what it actually has, to be fair. Personally, I wasn't sure how it would go after we got relegated because it was a very, very difficult season last year. But we've really hit the ground running.
Yeah, it definitely sounds that way. So in terms of Kings Lynn's style of play, what should Rovers fans expect from a Kings Lynn Town performance?
I think Lynn will give it absolutely everything on the pitch. They've got no passengers. They all work hard, very hard for each other. They like to get the ball down and play it very similar to, I believe, how Rovers like to play. So I'm expecting a very open game. Obviously, we're massive underdogs. Let's be brutally honest. You know, we are massive underdogs, but if you never know in football, do you? So on the day, you know, you've just got to make sure if you get a chance, that, you know, us especially, if we get a chance, we've got to take it.
Absolutely. And obviously going into the game, who would you say are the main sort of performers that Rovers may need to try and keep quiet?
Well, we're very lucky in the fact that out the sort of main 12 or 13 players who have started, obviously there's been a little bit of rotation, but the main 12 or 13 players, there's only 2 players who haven't scored. So the goals come regularly right throughout the team, which is quite good. That's what you want in any football team, isn't it, really? But probably the biggest danger man, Goldon Mateo's got 8 goals. Jordan Ponticelli, who was with Wrexham last season, he's got 7. And Josh Barrett, who was playing in the Championship three years ago, he's got 5. So, you know, we've got quite a few danger men who could cause Rovers 1 or 2 problems.
Yeah, we have to really stay switched on during this game. People may see it as an FA Cup game against a non-league team, but you never know in these FA Cup matches because they do provide shocks. I mean, how much are you expecting Kings Lynn to potentially cause an upset in this particular game?
I think you've always got a chance. We went to, you've got to remember, we went to Port Vale 2 years ago and we won 1-0 there. So we know on our day, I mean, the squad has changed quite dramatically since then. There's probably only 2 or 3 players left from that squad who played at Port Vale. But at the end of the day, you know, I know we've got the weaponry in us to cause a shock.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously in terms of what's happening in the league right now, what's the kind of long-term future for Kings Lynn Town? Because obviously there is a lot of talk over the last few years about the future of grassroots football and non-league football. Obviously Kings Lynn aren't the richest club, should we say, but where would you like Kings Lynn Town to go forward in terms of long-term? Do you expect Kings Lynn to try and aim for the Football League like any other club would, or would you expect them to be Vanarama National League at the moment maximum?
That's a very good question. I mean, when the chairman first came in about 7 or 8 years ago, I think it was now, when the new owner came in, he had designs of us being Football League, you know, quite quickly. That hasn't quite materialised, although obviously we did get up to the National League. And that's at this moment in time, I think that's got to be our ultimate aim, to get back into the National League and then build from there. It's very rare that you go up from the National League North or South into the National League and then get promoted again. That's a big ask to get successive promotions. But I think the ultimate aim for now, with a view to eventually getting in the Football League, is to get back in the National League.
Kings Lynn Town as a club, in terms of its history, how would you sort of look back on the history of the club and sort of how far you've come over that period of time from the original Kings Lynn Football Club?
There's been quite a few. I've been following Kings Lynn for 38 years. My first game actually was 1984-85 when we played Kidderminster Harriers in a replay in the FA Cup, and we beat them 1-0 and then went on to play Bristol Rovers. Since then, I mean, there's been a lot of ups and downs. The club went bust, and we had to obviously restart again from the lowest league possible. So it's been, but in terms of history, I mean, Kings Lynn have always been regarded, you know, a lot of people call them a sleeping giant, but, and you know, until the last couple of years when we got into National League, the sleeping giant had never awoken. So, you know, it has got a good history, it's got a good fan base, and I think we're bringing something like 600 fans to Doncaster, which is not a bad effort, really, is it?
Absolutely, it's a brilliant following for Kings Lynn Town. Greg, thank you very, very much for your time today.
No worries, and may the best team win on Saturday.